My plan for this morning was changed because my university did not release their lectures, so I'm going to be doing something different. And that's this. Once again, this is the second time I've done this, and I will continue to do this because we are a bunch of isolated, quarantined chimps right now. For my Americans who are popping in right now, I know it's the evening for you guys. Say what's up when you get in here. I'm gonna wait for some people to get in here. Last time was pretty successful, much more successful than I anticipated, with dozens and dozens of people chiming in, which was very cool. And we'll see if we can do that again, or maybe we'll be unsuccessful. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and check that this stream is working on my personal by looking up my name. Actually, I can do that on my own computer. God damn it. And we're going to check out the Rody Doty's back, my man, Rody Doty. What's going on, Rody Doty? You had some good questions last time. There we go. The chat box is working nicely. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What time is it, Rody Doty, for you in your state? Let's do this again. I'm gonna wait for some chimps to come in here. And we're gonna check out the Rody Doty's back, my man, Rody Doty. Hopefully this quality is better. Sandra's back as well. We're getting repeat people. I love this. What's up, Sandra? I like those questions last time. They were killer. They were deep. I'm gonna go ahead and check, because this is, I don't know about you guys, but I like staying informed, and I know staying informed, watching the news stresses people out. I don't really watch the news, but what I do is I will check reputable sources for, I'll show you right there. Check reputable sources. Actually, let me get rid of that and I'll show you. For the just update of what's going on around the world. You know, it's better to stay informed than not, in my opinion, because you'd never want to get caught off guard. Sandra, I'm all good. Could be a lot worse. Personally, I'm pretty good. I'm staying, just taking it one day at a time, and using this adversity as an opportunity to maintain and keep everything I'm going as much as possible. I'm fortunate I have a vocation and hobbies and, how do I say, businesses and ways of chasing my curiosity and my passions and my life that aren't severely affected by what's going on around the world. A lot of it I can do in my home. I have a home gym, you know, I can coach there, I can train there. I have businesses from here. Hey, you're a Weekend fan, okay. Man, I haven't even fully listened to After Hours. That is how disconnected I have been. Let's check out, because if you want to see what I'm listening to, look, it's still on my to listen playlist. So if we go down, After Hours is here. You see, I wish you could just play this stuff. Like, I'd pay money. I'm sure creators would pay money to stream music live, right? Like, make that an option. Why not? YouTube, why not make that an option to do that? Before I tell you what are my thoughts on the album, go ahead and tell me your thoughts on the album, because I'm going to put in my social media that I am live, because that is what I do. We're just some live talking chimps right now. I've got some questions from some other people that I still need to answer from the past. Some guy asked me about alcohol and drugs last time. I didn't talk about that. Sandra likes the album. For those who don't know, I don't know if you guys know me from Jungle Beats Media, my media company, where we reviewed music, which is on pause right now, but I'm a huge Weeknd fan. He's an incredible artist, and a lot of nostalgia with those trilogy albums. One of his best works, okay. Rody Doty thought it was one of his best works. I can't come to that. Oh, it's crazy. Ooh, that's me within me. I can't come to that conclusion yet. trilogy, those mixtapes will always have a deep place for me. And I think if you haven't heard The Weeknd's trilogy, like, it is some sublime, incredibly dark, how do I say? Yeah, well, Sandra, it's a favorite for a large majority of the fan base, I imagine. It has such a nostalgic, like, dark, cold, dreary, but sonically, it's incredible. And this guy we're talking like, he was like a teenager when he was living these experiences and writing them. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Like, if we just stop and pause for a second, like, it's as raw as it gets. It's as raw as it gets. I'm going to just post this right now. But as for After Hours, I haven't even digested it probably because I'm not traveling, because I'm not doing the same things outside of my home. I'm not able to listen to music as readily because usually I will listen to podcasts in the morning in my routine. I will be not listening to music typically during the day because music with the lyrics distracts me when I do work. So I'll just put something called like rainymood.com. I'll just play the rain. The sound of rain really helps me. Okay. There's posted. I'm going to post on my personal right there. I got all these music. Yes, I hear the trilogy. It's an awesome album. Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible album. Or set of albums, set of mixtapes. But I'm trying to, from what I heard from After Hours, okay, it didn't blow me away upon first listen. It didn't, like, it was good, but this man is clearly hurting. If you hear the music and watch the music videos, geez, this man Abel is clearly going through some things. Struggling to get over his previous relationship with the Hadid, one of the Hadids. I don't know. I don't keep track. I got shit to do. Boom. There's on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, just do it. See what happens. I put a lot of quotes up there, a lot of things that like are thought-provoking to me, like things I will just hear and see and read and just like, wow, that's profound. It's like 180 character profound thoughts. I don't know what the characters is on Twitter, whatever it is. And so that's what I use Twitter for, if you want to stay up to date on that. Otherwise, boom. It is what it is. Here we go. All right, let's check out the because I've never really planned. Sandra, you don't have to ask. Don't ask to ask a question. Just ask a question. It's a live stream. Ask a question. It's all good. So people now in person is a different thing. Like, you're with somebody, you're like, oh, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to interrupt them. Hey, can I ask? You have time? Can I ask? Here's good. You're good. But while you do that, I'm going to let me close that down. I'm gonna check out these coronavirus updates. All right, what do we got? We got 2.5 million confirmed, 170,000 dead. 4 million tests conducted. See, 4 million, it is a lot. It's absolute number. It's a huge number, right? But there's 360 million plus people in America. And New York, man, one of my favorite cities, is getting hit hard, man. It's getting hit hard. And it's really... New York City is a city designed for that type of shit. You know, designed for easily spread viruses. Everyone's all on top of each other. There's so much interconnectedness, which makes it such a crazy city, such an amazing city, how connected it is. But it's a breeding ground for things like that. It's targets for things like terrorist attacks because of the population density. But Jesus Christ, I've never seen, like, when I walked in Grand Central Station, I've never seen, like, I don't know if there were police officers or there were some type of federal police, state police, but military dressed officers of some sort with assault rifles. I'm like, wow. And we're not talking about one, we're talking about like multiple small groups. I'm like, wow, that's I'm gonna start looking at the camera more. I look at myself usually, and I'm like, people are much more attentive when you look in the camera. And anyway, what I was saying, it was much more people walking around at Grand Central Station with assault rifles, or military individuals, being security and safeguarding that probably one of the most popular, dense train stations in the world, right? And I'm like, oh, they ain't fucking around here. They can't. The stakes are too high. It's considering what that country's been through and what the world's been through in so many different ways with different types of terrorist plots and attacks. And in fact, didn't that just happen today? I just heard. I just heard there was Canada's biggest. I go on Reddit. I think Reddit is a great source for kind of more unbiased information. I heard in Canada had its worst shooting, mass shooting in history, which is during this time with it's already so crazy, where it's already so chaotic. These things are going to happen. Sandra, unless this might be the long. Maybe Sandra's gone. If Sandra's gone, she's gone. But Sandra, you might be right in the longest question in history. But you can ask that question, by the way, and go ahead. These Canadian mass shooting. I just want to find like the most quickest, easy. I'll go ABC. ABC is an Australian, pretty reputable, in the middle. I think it's in the middle. Flickering on my face. I've upped the bitrate on these. I've upped the quality and bitrate of these streams, so hopefully it doesn't lag and everything's smooth and everything is fuego. The death toll from the worst mass shooting in Canadian history has risen to 19, with police saying they expect the number to grow. The gunman, who at point masqueraded as a policeman and also painstakingly disguised his car to look like a police cruiser, shattered the peace of a rural community in Nova Scotia during a 12-hour rampage that started in late on Saturday. A gunman who claimed the lives of 18 people has risen to 19, among them a woman in uniform who's a police officer of some sort. Royal Canadian Mounted Police Constable. Man, look, she looks so young too. 23! Jesus Christ. 23-year veteran. Sorry, I misread that. Man, she looks young. Probably not 23 though. Yeah, isn't that a thing? Do not give him the gift of infamy. Let us instead focus all our attention on the lives we lost and the families and friends who grieve. That is a big thing. Like, a lot of individuals who commit these acts, they crave for the posthumous, post-death is what I'm trying to say, infamy and fame. I don't understand how it went on for 12 hours. How does that happen? Is he doing these things covertly? Is he I don't understand how this is. One woman said she came across 2 buildings police vehicles while driving out Sunday morning. There was one officer we could see on the scene, and all of a sudden he went running towards the burning vehicles. I heard that he was, I don't know how he set them on fire. But he set some cars alight. So that was his vehicle. There's one difference between his car and our car, and that is our RCMP vehicles, the cars start with a hashtag. Sorry, with that hashtag? No, that's shit. There's an actual name for that. The suspect's car is... Maybe it's the hashtag. No, isn't it a hashtag? Wow. He designed a fucking police car. He designed a goddamn police car. How the hell would he get his hands on it? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Who slipped up? What, did he build it? Did he build it from scratch? Imagine if he built it from scratch. Talk about premeditated. Yeah, it is rare. Rarer, I should say. Yeah, man, look at this is just the reality of the situation. Chase, wait, can you see my comment? Nah. I just saw your comment then, Chase. Did you say something else? I didn't see any. The last comment I've seen is from Sandra. Has there been more comments? God damn it. Don't fuck this up, YouTube. Don't fuck... I'm gonna check. I'm gonna manually check. I kind of see my own... God damn it. Crazy people still make stupid choices in the worst of times. Yeah. And I think crazy, although that is the name we give to a lot of these people, right? I think it's legitimate. I think mental illness, undiagnosed or diagnosed, is a serious thing. And I think that is the precondition to a lot of these issues. And like this is just the start. Like we're during a pandemic. Okay, we're going through a pandemic. Okay, I'll show you right now. I've shown it before. Here's our pandemic. Okay, we're all dealing with it. We got to do the best we can. But this is not going to be the only terrorist attack because people are going to use this as an opportunity. People who are already planning these things, who already have the preconceived notions to commit heinous crimes like this, are going to use this as an opportunity. Now, while a lot of people are indoors, okay, well, how can we take advantage of that? People get their packages stolen from outside their home. Make sure you get onto that quick. Make sure you have... I've got to look in the camera. Make sure you have security in your home. You can now get... Even if you live in an apartment, you can now get Wi-Fi cameras pretty cost effectively. A couple $100 max. A minimum, I should say. Security, weapon to defend yourself. And I think prevention is the best cure. So always having situational awareness, right? When I did martial arts as a younger kid, one of the best things I learned was our instructor, karate instructor. He taught us this idea of red light, yellow light, green light. And what this meant was red light, you're unaware. You're unaware of what's going on around you. Yellow light, you are somewhat aware, okay, of your surroundings. Green light, you are fully aware. And I'm going to flip this as well. You are fully aware of your surroundings. You're head checking. You're taking mental note of the people around you. Are you positioning yourself in rooms and on public transport accordingly so you have widest field of view? For example, when you get on a train or when you sit in a restaurant, is your back to the door? If your back is to the door, then you are at the behest of the actions of the individual that walks through that door. You are blind to the potential stimulus and potential threat that could come onto you. So, and these are very basic things. Like I didn't invent this stuff. This is basic like situational awareness things. Put yourself in corners of rooms. Hey, can we get the table in the corner, please? Hey, let's go sit at the end of the train carriage. At the end of the train carriage, instead of next to the door where you have to head check every time. If you're end of the train carriage, you can see field of view widely. You're in a corner, boom, you can see, right? And you're also close to the exit door that goes onto the next carriage, which is pretty important too. I think if everybody was taught some type of basic situational awareness as children through school, basic safety precautions, then I believe that we would be able to circumvent a lot of these and mitigate a lot of these crimes that are physical, violent crimes that are perpetrated onto us people. Because the best way to win a fight, I hear time and time again, is just to never get in one, is to evade, okay? You don't, like, people think it's cool and shit. Like, when I know, younger people, especially teenagers, they like the idea of fighting. I know in high school there was a fucking fight club. We had a little bit of a fight club in our high school. This would never go on now. And what I mean is, at lunchtimes, we were in year 11, so we're talking like junior. Sorry, no, that's college. You guys call it juniors and seniors. 1 to 2 years from graduating high school, and there would be organized fight clubs. And what I mean by this, I don't mean literally like underground type fight. I mean just like in a part of the school that wasn't monitored that well. They would organize fights. People would organize fights, and people would watch. Dozens of kids would watch around us, and these people would fight. No headshots, just wrestling, kicking, jiu-jitsu, which is on the ground work, things like that. And I think there should be, and I think that happens is because that is not as negative as people seem. I think if you can control that, if you can create an environment for young children to express their emotion and anger and energy, it's really a lot of energy, then I think that another way we can help circumvent these things is by cultivating, instead of suppressing, we are cultivating these characteristics of young men, because statistically it is men who perpetrate these crimes, okay, for whatever reasons that may be. This is multifaceted, but I think one of the components is mental illness. Another component is we are never taught how to cultivate our anger, our emotion, our energy. And so if we can find ways to, because when the teachers found out, that's it. That's put to an end. There are severe consequences for that. School never wants that to go on in their backyard, right? But if I'm the teacher, if I'm the principal, I'm pulling the kid aside and say, hey, between you and me, don't tell anybody, it's between you and me, I don't think what you did was too bad, right? Fighting, you should learn how to protect yourself. However, we can't have that look for our school. We won't get students. The school won't even function and run. We got to be able to educate. However, I think you should join a martial arts school. I think you should do this, suggest and set up an opportunity for these kids to give them the opportunity to put their energy and their pent-up emotion and their physical testosterone growth hormone building bodies into something that's going to build discipline and refine them as a human beings. And I think if we can do things like that, then we can circumvent a lot of these issues like we just saw in the last 24 hours with Canada. But that's my 2 cents. Anyway, I got some questions. Did the article mention if psychotropic drugs were prescribed to this individual? I didn't read that. Let me just do a little search. No keyword for drug. Let me see. I mean, if you guys see anything, this is BBC. Nothing on drug. I just don't understand how it was 12 hours long. Shot at different locations in Nova Scotia, many of them randomly, but I heard he also knew some of them. Okay, this is different. It's a map. I'll make myself smaller for you guys. Oh, myself, not the map. Check this. Actually, I don't need to do that. I can just do this. I'll put it over me. So we have... it's 11:30. Go to sleep. What are you doing up? 11:30. Police called first reports. Nothing good happens after midnight, does it? Like what good happens after midnight outside of your home? Almost nothing, right? Clubs, bars, date. Like, what happens? Just regrets. Officer reportedly shot dead Sunday mornings. So he did these things in the night. Interesting. A neighborhood to some 3 properties were on fire. What, like homes? Active shoot investigation. He could get under the cover and guise of looking like a police officer. A child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Wow. A child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. I love that. Yeah. Man, that's a powerful statement and quote. And let's even break that down. You said village was not embraced by the village. A village implies a community. A village implies, I've heard the saying, it takes a village or a community to raise a child. And that has never been less applicable to today, unfortunately, right? Because now individuals are raising themselves essentially, right? Individuals are not being raised by a community of people usually. Now, some traditions and cultures still maintain this, like a lot of Asian cultures and communities, Indian, Italian, like where they live on top of each other, you'll have multiple generations in a home, will still continue this. However, most Western countries and cultures don't. And so individuals are left alone, isolated. They're left to their devices. I don't just mean, and I mean like actual devices and their own devices. Like parents are working, they're trying to support. It's never been more, like the inflation of cost of living is very high in a lot of countries like Australia and America, particularly states like New York and some parts of California. So what do? You as a parent have to do what you have to do to survive and thrive, but then the child is left neglected a lot of the times. And so the child can go in either 2 ways. The child can, fortunately, luckily, serendipitously find opportunities that are beneficial for their growth and development, like mentors and people, or fucking Tomo. Oh, I saw his name. Oh god, big fan. Would love to meet you. What part of Australia are you from? Just wanted to ask why. Why you hate Singapore so much? Hold on, let me finish what the fuck I'm saying. You funny fuck. For those, Tom's he's playing like he don't know me. Tom's a good friend from Singapore. Anyway, the village doesn't get an opportunity to raise the child because it doesn't exist. And so where do men get an opportunity? Where do boys become an opportunity to become men? I don't just mean boys. I'm talking females, girls into women is applicable too. So the opportunity isn't created. So boys and girls are left to their own devices to find their own meaning and paths. And these paths can be detrimental and go down paths of drugs and sex and abuse. Or they can go down things like, I chose this path, right? Productivity and meaning and fulfillment. Like this, like you either run away from pain or you run towards pleasure. But usually running away from the pain causes you to find some paths that are a little more productive for your life. And so that's what gets people to places like this. Live streaming Talking Chimps. Anyway, before I answer Zach's question, I'm gonna answer the motherfucking Tomo Porats. Like your DP, man. It's very yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full, sir. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to meet you too one day, Mr. Parat. Maybe we will get the opportunity to. I'm from Melbourne. It's an amazing city. I don't know if you've been, but it actually, another person asked me actually where I'm from last time. And Melbourne is, I still, after traveling multiple times around the world, not a lot, but a few countries, it's still one of the best cities. If not the best city in the world for me. New York City, though, is head to head with that right there. Why do you hate Singapore so much? Okay, I should clarify this because I jokingly said on my last stream, fuck Singapore. And let me clarify that humorous statement. You know why. I think you know why, but the other people don't. For those who don't know, have been to Singapore, I just watched the first episode of Westworld. If none of you have seen Westworld, Westworld is a fucking amazing show. Just a psychological, not a thriller. Like, it's centered around artificial intelligence and basically how there's this park without people, that these, like, the wealth of the wealthiest, they've created this park where people go to live out their wildest dreams. And like this, for example, this guy, you go into a machine and you enter Westworld, and Westworld is, well, it's centered in kind of these old Western times. And you enter imagine like you put on some goggles and you literally enter another universe, right? Another world. And you get to live it out through that world. You can die multiple times. It's like playing a video game, but in real life. You can die multiple times. You come back to life. You can live out these quests and do missions. However, I won't give any spoilers, but these characters, there is these artificial intelligence people that they create, and so that you can see there, out of that body, or that what would you call it, like a mold, like a human mold, and these creatures, these machines start to become sentient, and it's a fucking amazing show, and a lot of it was shot in Singapore. That's why I say that, and I love, because it was shot in Singapore, it just highlights the fact, exactly my point, to one of the reasons why I don't like Singapore. So I'm going to show you some of the shots that they used. All right, they were trying to look very futuristic, very futuristic looks. I'm going to pause this. Where is this from? Geek Culture, so I'm not going to get pulled for this. Oh, so you can see here some of what it looks like. Oh, they show you actually the places it's from. Great, you can see Singapore, and it looks like an amazing city. Like some of the buildings are crazy. Like when I lived on campus, we had clever. I see what you did there. So that's what it looks like usually, and then they add all the futuristic stuff in the background. This hotel also is crazy. The Park Royal, when you walk past the Park Royal, when you're on the ground and you can see they've attached all this greenery to their building. It looks unreal, right? It's not like this throughout the whole city, which Westworld makes you believe, right? Because Westworld are trying to create that, right? However, there are many sections, and these fuckers are trying to, like, if you look at the Marina Bay Sands, which is that boat building, right? The fuckers are trying to add another motherfucking tower. It's like a multi-billion-dollar project. I read that when I was there late last year. I'm like, you fuckers are out of your mind. Where are you going to put it? I'm like, all right. Singapore is... Appearances are really important in Singapore, okay? Looking the part and creating this superficially beautiful aesthetic. Now, this superficially beautiful aesthetic is artificial as fuck. It's not real, man. It's not real. And first time I traveled to Singapore, I loved it. I'm like, holy shit, I think I could live here. I literally thought that, okay? I spent about nearly a week there. okay? But I spent time around the city, okay? I didn't live, and it's a small country. It's like an hour wide driving, but I didn't live there. So when I lived there for 4 months, my eyes opened. I became woke to the fakeness of that country. It is so artificial. It is so fake. And I don't just mean from a superficial level, but I mean from like a deeper level, from like a level of like, oh, you guys mainly care about your grades, what you look like, what you sound like, and your appearance to other people. Now, that's a trait that afflicts many people, if not everybody in some way or another. But it has permeated the culture in such an ugly, unattractive way to me, where I look around and I'm like, this, and you can see why the MRT stations, the train stations actually look like this. So when they position it like they're in California, but it's still in Singapore. If you're watching Westworld season 3, it's still in Singapore. These train stations are from Singapore. And the thing about Singapore is because they have such tight regulations and rules. It's a pseudo-democracy. Okay? You can see up there, there's real footage of the actual station. And in the show, you can see these things, these little... that's how I knew it was Singapore, because they have these stickers that say, show your care, right? So they just get up for old people, right? Don't bring these durans on the train. You can get fined for drinking fucking water on the train. I'm serious. Drinking any liquids, but water is included. Eating any food. Like, there's a reason. Why do you think this shit's so clean? Why do you think everything is so orderly? It's because the government perpetrates that. The governments have very high stakes and ramifications for making that happen. And that is up to a government how much they want to do that. Whatever, okay? But I don't have to fucking like it. I can see right through that bullshit. And I couldn't at the start because I was blinded to it. I was blind. I was tricked, okay? And so there's a reason everything's so clean, because you can get fined for fucking... As I think you should get fined for littering. I think the cleanliness is important. Hygiene is critically important. I think those are positive traits. However, when it becomes tyrannical, I think we have a problem. I think when we start enforcing laws to the extent where I can't drink water on a motherfucking train, okay? And maybe some Singaporean who's lived there their whole life will be like, actually, that's not true. Okay, fair enough, okay. But I'm just telling you what I was told and reading the signs on the train. So there's a reason it all looks so clean. No chewing gum. So I'll just fuck around. Tom, you motherfucker, you chewed gum because you realize, and we brought gum through the airport, and you realize, hold on, the average individual isn't really enforcing a lot of this. Even at the airport anyway, they didn't care that we held gum. Maybe that's not the point. Maybe it's just the chewing of the gum. Did I go to the National Gallery? I did go to the National. I think we went to the National Gallery, which was quite stunning. And so you'll have a lot of areas in Singapore which are aesthetically quite beautiful. What they forget is how humid as fuck it is, right? They're wearing these clothes. I don't know how Aaron Paul's doing this, not sweating his balls off, okay? Because you got to adapt to these things. You acclimatize to heat. It's a real physiological thing. You acclimatize to heat over many weeks and months. And so your sweat rate goes down, and your ability to regulate a homeostatic baseline temperature regulates better. So you're not constantly going up, because sweating is an evaporative form of heat loss, so you can cool the body. And so to see none of these actors or actresses sweating their balls off is quite surprising to me, because Singapore is high humidity, high ambient temperature, but that's what we're dealing with Singapore. So, like, aesthetically, like architecture-wise, you'll find a lot of great, amazing things, but the culture, to me, is quite fake. I felt like a lot of them were afraid to be different, to be themselves. And while there are sects, there are like areas. I know we went to this rooftop bar thing, and I've never seen so many quaint, strange individuals, like piercings, tattoos, like really like people with a lot of character, flavor. Like they got flavor in their character, right? This wasn't like traditional Singaporeans. It's like, oh, this is where the outcasts come. This is where, excuse me, this is where the misfits come. And I'm sorry, okay, it exists. These small areas do exist, but a lot of the time it is suppressed, and so that's what I want to say. I just looked up because I made some notes on this because it's not just out of thin air. It's a rigid culture, robotic people, rigid rules and laws, very conformist, and doesn't celebrate weird people and those who challenge ideas. Stagnant weather, it's humid every day. There's no it's the season is monsoon season or not. It's raining or it's not. Okay. It's a forced engineered social cohesion. 80% of people live in government public housing, and it must reflect the demographic distribution of the population. And that's a rule. While most people would welcome integrated neighborhoods, not forced integration. So while the positives is a great infrastructure, great transport, people have material comforts, it's expensive living is high because of the artificial nature of it, and another thing, the food quality is low, grass-fed, for example, organic, like that. You won't see that shit often. There's very little land, so there's very little farming to be done locally, which is quite unfortunate, but it's the way of the situation. And that's that. That's my 15 minutes on Singapore time. You're probably not even still in here, but I'll get that off my chest and just publicly clarify what I meant and what I was saying. So that's that. Now, where was I? Rody Dody. If you're still watching this, let me know. Looks like there's some viewers in here. Rody Dody. I think Muay Thai, BBJ, and Taekwondo would make you a beast. Knew a guy that did all three, and no one ever messed with him in the slightest. I agree. This is why the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship. Hey man, hey, don't worry. You outside of the jurisdiction of Singapore. You outside of it. They cannot come for you or I. Well, look, if anybody's in trouble, it's probably me. Like, I talk the most shit publicly about, like, Singapore colluding with China. Could we be messing with China through messing with Singapore? We did attend some. We're in attendance at the Hong Kong protests, so they could connect us in some ways to some collusion. Hopefully they can see this and see through the joke and the ridiculousness of what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, I think Rody Dody, Muay Thai, BBJ, and Taekwondo all. Also, what's going on in how's the Netherlands so far? Let me check out the Netherlands. Okay. What are you gonna do now? It's all over now. No, it's whatever. It's fine. It's all good. Let me see this. Netherlands. There it is. Netherlands. 33,000, nearly 4K. These numbers getting so big, I don't even know what to do with them. All I do at this point is check. This is the best one I've found because I can see trends to a pretty accurate extent. So if I go down here, I'm just going to search for my country. You can search for you. I'd highly recommend this for people. What we're seeing in Australia is something pretty unique in the sense that not a lot of countries have gotten here. And I'm going to put this over me. What we're looking at, if you're wondering why my screen is colored, it's because of this. I use a thing called Iris. This is what it would look like normally, and that's what it looks like full blue light. But I'm choosing to use this program that blocks some blue light, and this is what it looks like in the night. Look at that. That's fucking beautiful, isn't it? All this blue light affecting people's circadian rhythm. Not me, motherfucker. Anyway, this is where we're at now. Wawa Blicky Productions. Your name is Nick Gurr. Yes, thank you for telling me your name. Okay, nice to meet you, Nick Gurr. Let me know if you got any questions or comments, my friend. This is where we're at now, right? This is where we used to be here. You know, we're looking at, I'll zoom in for you, hundreds and hundreds of cases, and then we started to see a tapering off. And we've maintained that for a few weeks now. However, our Prime Minister has recently said, and look at April 19, which is 2 days ago, 26 cases. Our Prime Minister has recently said these restrictions that we're in will be in for the next 4 weeks, minimum. At least 4 weeks from, he said that 4 days ago. So restrictions that we're talking about, you cannot leave your home unless you are leaving for, love you too, John Scott. You cannot leave your home unless you are going to essential services like a grocery store, like a hardware store, like a pharmacy. Am I in England? No, my friend. I'm in Australia, Melbourne. Although people get our accents confused, I'm glad to be not in England around this time. Tell you what, this is probably one of the better countries or best countries to be in. So that's where we're at. What was I just saying? Oh yeah, the restrictions. So we're restricted, like essential services we can only go to. We can get fined thousands of dollars for not having we'll get a warning. Like if you get a good cop, you'll get a warning. But you can, if you leave your home and you don't have an actual legitimate reason, you get caught. You can get fined. If you're operating a small business when it should be closed, you can get fined. If you gather with more than one person outside your household, you can get fined. And we're talking like $1,000 plus fines. Of course you are, man. Of course you are, because John Scott. I don't have to answer them immediately, so I can just keep talking if I want to. So it's all good, man. You ask questions away. And Sandra had a question 45 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, but she's gone now. So see you, Sandra. Yes, all good. Ask away. I should put something on the screen like ask me anything type thing, so people know when. Oh, it's in the title of the video, so you know what, it's there. I'll upgrade this stream as we go along. If anybody has any tips for using streamable OBS, you let me know. Send me a message. Where are we at? Nah, bro. What the fuck does that mean? The touchy. There's some weird cats out there. It's alright. John's asking, do you ever get the desire to do what you did for the 48 hours with the Prince? Well, I never read the Prince, so I don't have that desire because I haven't read it. However, I do have the desire to do that with Sapiens. Chaden, what's up, my man? I hope your podcast is beginning soon, my friend. Let me fix this. Boom, space, bitch. Back in space, talking chimps through space. Man, I hope you're getting your podcast done soon. My question is strength and conditioning based. For those who don't know, I'm a health coach, strength and conditioning coach. I'm a generalist, pretty much. I'm a generalist coach. You can call me that. It's my vocation. How would you approach an athlete who is an AFL Aussie rule based athlete as opposed to, say, basketball? That's a good question. It's a general question, but it's a good question because when we talk about athletic development and general physical, psychological development, we always have to take into consideration the individual needs of the sport. And so the individual needs of the sport dictate certain things like energy system demand. So that's going to dictate our conditioning. Certain conditions of sport dictate how much things like armoring we need. How much muscle mass do we actually need? Functional muscle mass do we need for our needs of our sport? So if we let's just look at these sports like basketball and AFL, who I've worked with both those types of athletes. So let's look at it in a comparison of like, okay, energy system demands. Both are predominantly alactic and aerobic. So they're alactic aerobic predominantly. So what I mean alactic, you were talking about the ATP PC system, 0 to 10 seconds ish, and aerobic 90 second plus, 60 second plus, moderate intensity. Okay, it's usually a hybrid of there with some glycolytic work. Both those sports share similar energy demands. However, they express those energy demands over much varied volumes and distances. So if we just talk about from a conditioning perspective, if we you know what? When you live stream, you got to take comments like that. You know what? It's just what it is. You know, if there's people in... Anyway, I'll continue the question, Jaden. We have to take into consideration the volume of and the demands of the sport. So when we're preparing for sport, we have to look at the requirements from a physical capacity standpoint are different. Okay? An AFL athlete is going to have to produce forces and have a robust enough aerobic energy system and a lactic system to support the demands of the duration, which is longer than basketball, okay? However, basketball has conditions where it is a lot more repeat effort, and it is a lot more like repeat effort explosive ATP work, okay? We're getting constant exposure to high neurally demanding activities like jumping and sprinting and changing direction, okay? However, the foundations remain. We need our athlete in both sports to be able to change direction incredibly well. So we need to teach the mechanics of that. Generally, we're going to have more longer levered athletes with basketball. So we need to take in consideration the demands of like partial ranges of movement. Do I need to squat my a basketball athlete to parallel? No, not necessarily, okay? I need to take in consideration basketball is a sport that has very high training volumes. So I need to take that into consideration when I weight train my athlete, okay? Am I going to do a lot of knee dominant work when they already have quite a few inflammatory issues around the patella, which is quite common in basketball? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on how well they can tolerate the load. It's just something to be considerate of, okay? But I'm going to use partial ranges of motion where applicable. I think the main differences come in the duration. How do I say? I think the main differences come in preparing for the conditioning from the aspect of the volumes in AFL are quite a bit larger. So I would be looking at much larger durations for preparation in the aerobic work that I'm going to do. So I'll be working on this end, the higher end of aerobic volume, whereas basketball, I'm probably going to go more of the middle end because the court is much smaller. So it's a much smaller volume. And there's going to be a similar priority on ability to jump and change direction. But the sprinting is also going to be different as well because one's ability to produce force over an extended period of time, you know, when we look at the distance of a basketball court, we're really looking at 5 to 15 meters or 5 to 20 meters is really a sweet spot for acceleration. You're not getting top end speed for basketball generally, okay? Maybe you'll get it a couple times a game if you do some full court drills or you do some full court like baseline to baseline, like a steal and a layup, but that's really a minority. But let the foundations remain the same with strength work and be considerate of levers and body composition in those sports. That's my 2 cents on that. If you've got any more specific questions, Jaden, on that, let me know. Or I wonder if you're working with athletes like that yet. All right. Zach, I haven't read Homo Deus. No, Zach. If you did Book Summary and Sapien, yeah, man, it's a great book. And when I make the time, I'll probably do it. And I'll probably do it in a really casual way when I can just get it out. Like you guys have seen previously with my videos, I will just do it in a way where I'll put things behind me. Like, I got the green screen. I'll put my 12 rules for life. I'll spend hours and hours and hours. I'll hire people to help me. Like, I'll go to all extents and extents to create the highest quality video. By putting all this B-roll and trying to add visuals to it. I think I'm just going to do that book. I'm just going to read the book, speak on my interpretations on it with just a camera. You know, I'm not going to add any fancy stuff. I think I might just do that just for speed's sake, because I think effective decisions are decisions that are made quickly and assertively rather than a chase for perfection. And I think previously I've always tried to chase perfection and make things like perfect and like really good. And while that worked to an extent, if you look at my early 48 Laws of Power videos, which some of my most popular and like people like have known me for, look at that shit. Like, it's trash. Like, I'm saying that kind of jokingly, but like, I had fucking the same B-roll footage and I was just talking over it. Like, I used images and I got better over time, but like some of my most popular videos, like, people really enjoyed just super basic. And so I don't think we always need to add flair and sexiness to content to make it effective. And if it's difference between me releasing content or me doing something that's going to take a year or going to take 3 months, I'm going to pick the 3-month option right now, because I think if there's one thing I learned from reading Jeff Bezos' Amazon shareholder letters, which he released to the public, which I would highly recommend reading. You'll find it on medium.com, is that it's better to make quick decisions than to take a long time to be perfect. Because if you make a mistake and you make a quick decision, say I make a mistake, most mistakes are reversible. Most mistakes you can pivot from, okay? Say, for example, I do this live stream and they're like, oh shit, I fucked up the lighting. There was last live stream, there was like, it wasn't clear. Like, I had a bit of green around me or whatever. Okay, I can't spend an hour trying to fix that and perfect that. I just need to do it and go on the fly as I go. Because it's better to do something now than wait. In majority of situations, wait for the perfect time or wait for the perfect scenario context, because that ain't coming. I got like 100 years and this is done. You know, I'm a quarter of the way through this, right? I gotta go, motherfucker. I gotta go. Like, fuck waiting. Let's go. Anyway. Also, Sapiens taught me Australia is terrifying, basically the harshest environment on Earth. Well, you know who taught that? Adam Greentree. Adam Greentree showed that very clearly. How crazy this planet is. Especially Australia. Spiders and crocodiles and wild bulls. Just unbelievable. But you don't encounter it unless you go out. Like, people who live in the suburbs or the city, you're not encountering. People have this idea, like, Joe Rogan's fucking shit scared of this country. It ain't, like, suburbs and cities are fine, man. Majority of the time. Hikes and stuff, you go out to hikes, yeah, you're gonna expose yourself to some things, but you'll be fine majority of the time if you have some basic common sense. You bring some tools with you, a knife with you. You understand the areas you're going into, and the wildlife that could be present, and you should be fine. John Scott, I have read the 50th Law. In fact, I'll show you in the description of every video. I have my favorite books. Here it is. Amazon.com/Alexander Emanuel, and you will see on that list, best books of all time, 50th Law is on there as one of my favorite books. I think what Robert Greene and 50 combined to do into create a book that it centers around this idea of fear, and 50 Cent trying to overcome and move through his fear and through his experiences of being shot, growing up in Jamaica, I think it was Jamaica Plains, Queens, in a very, very rough neighborhood with crime and violence and drugs. How he overcame that and how he maneuvered through his fear to become a very successful businessman, entrepreneur, and business mogul through his career. I have a lot of respect for. So I have best books of all time. I just reread The Alchemist recently. It's a great fiction book to read before you sleep, just to downregulate you. Business, entrepreneurship, growing into a man. The Way of the Superior Man there, highly recommend as a really incredible book that I think every young man, every man should read, and King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. You can go on Amazon.com/shop/Alexander Emanuel, Psychology, Self-Help, and you can check out those books. Would highly recommend those ones. Podcasts coming along. Need to get the last few bits of equipment and start playing around and learning to edit. Hopefully have someone like your fine self come on and talk things training. Anytime, man. Let's talk some chimps in person. I'm hopefully going to be able to do some in-person ones pretty soon. I think I have the all clear back to do it at my gym, which would be great. I'll be able to get some guests on. Guests who aren't scared to come on. Guests who aren't scared to travel a little bit, to drive to me. I understand though, there's consequences to leaving your home, not to going to essential service. But we'll see, man. If anybody's watching this, any friends, any people who have asked to come on, and you want to come on now's a great time. Let me know, and we'll set it up. All right. I think we are good there. I think there's some questions that Riley Boland had. Unless you guys got some questions, I'm going to take a question from a Facebook comment, a friend of mine. Riley Boland said, what is your next 50 years Well, Jaden, what you can do, before I even answer that question I was about to answer, what you can do is you can do people remote. I don't want to do it. I won't do it at this time. I don't like it. I don't like how you got to wait for people. It can be stagnant. It can be like, there's internet interruptions. It's it's not a fluid conversation always, but you just got to adapt and deal with what you have. You too, Jaden. We'll see. Lola J, one has to go. Vikings, Spartans, Ninja Warriors. Vikings, Spartans, Ninja Warriors. Vikings, Spartans. Well, Ninja Warriors. Ninja Warriors, probably. Ninja Warriors. They gotta go. Spartans have I think I have a lot more connection to Vikings and Spartans. Vikings through just basic understanding of history, entertainment movies and shows, Sparta and Spartans, because of that movie 300 and its Greek roots, which connects to me. Ninja Warriors I'm just not connected to, and it's named after a show too, so that confuses me too. Anyway, let me answer. I'll probably answer one question here by Riley Boland. If you guys got questions here, you let me know. My question, Riley says, what does your next 50 years look like? What do you want to be known for and have achieved by 80 or when you're on your deathbed? And he has another question after it. What do I want my next 50 years to look like? When people ask questions like this, I don't think they're productive. I don't think in that sense. I don't think in the sense of how do I say? I am planning in ways to how I want my life to look like when I'm older, when I'm 70, 80, 90, 100. I want health span, I want quality of life. That is super important to me, and so I'm trying to take the actions today to make that a reality. So I think if there's one thing I would say is maintaining health span, maintaining health quality, maintaining strength, maintaining vitality, maintaining vigor, maintaining enthusiasm for life, maintaining a passion for life, maintaining a willingness to attack life and chase excellence. It's not what my life is going to look like, it's who I am and who I'm becoming. It's not about my life, it's about who I am. Because who I am will dictate my life. So what do I want my life to look like? I don't think that's the right question. I think it is, what do I want to look like? And who I want to look like is someone who I'm becoming and someone who I'm working to become right now. And if that is chasing excellence in the domains that I see as meaning, give me meaning and fulfillment in my life, They give me joy. That give me something, that chasing my personal legend. That is something I will want and will continue to do as I age throughout my life. And so it's a continual effort to chase those things, and the constant pursuit of improvement and service to the world. That is what I want my life to look like. Okay? And so it's not like, oh, I want to achieve X and Y and Z. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Achievement is not so much important to me anymore. It's not, because the granular details of how achievement will look, what achievement will look like, will always change depending on the zeitgeist, depending on the circumstances, which will constantly change. Look at how this pandemic has changed everybody's fucking 2020 goals. You can shove them up your ass, right? You got to adjust, you got to adapt, you got to innovate. And so that's what we're all presented with now. So I don't really look that long term into the future from a goal perspective. I look that term into the future from a life perspective. And I don't even have to do it. I just have to be it. If I be it today, I can become it tomorrow. So yeah. That's it. The coolest movies have Spartans and ninjas in them. I'm struggling with the Vikings movie. I think because Vikings just seem like fucking savages, don't they? Like, when I went to the Melbourne Museum, I discovered that Vikings helmets, the actual horns are not, they're a fabrication. They didn't actually have horns. They're a fabrication from entertainment. A misinterpretation, actually, from what I remember. So when I look at Vikings, I see this shit. That TV show, that was big. I watched a little bit of it. I couldn't really get into it, but like, you just see savages. These guys are savages. Like, raping and pillaging. Not that that's an admirable quality, but it's savage quality. And I appreciate the savageness of their character. I think we could all take something from that. But ninjas, like, how supple and quiet they are, like, these guys are stealth. That's stealth. I got one. It's about the video games, though. Is that all right? Yeah, of course. You guys can ask anything. Don't ask if it's all right. The one who asked me. Go ask any question. Don't matter. Lola J, one has to go. Lucky Charms, Fruit Loops, or Apple Jacks? Well, here's the thing, my friend. What you don't know is that we don't have Lucky Charms or Apple Jacks in our country. Those are very American only cereals. So Fruit Loops is the one that stays 100% of the time. Fruit Loops is the best. Fruit Loops, if Fruit Loops is, now I don't eat it, or you can't eat something like that consistently. I'm not a child anymore, as much as I like to enjoy a little bit of childhood nostalgia. Actually, that's not, I should take back, because I eat something called Messy Monkeys, which is like a childhood cereal. Now I eat it when I need a bit more calories throughout the end of the day. It's a gluten-free cereal, which is the only cereal I really eat right now. With a bit of almond milk, a little bit of a treat, and a way to get more calories, a bit more carbs into the end of the day when I need to hit my caloric intake. So Fruit Loops are staying. Apple Jacks and Lucky Charms, I'll probably try them, I just can't remember them. I know I've tried some American cereals. I know you guys are crazy with your cereals. Is it Hitler's birthday? Is it really? Really? Let me look this up. It is. Well, it's the 21st here, so it was technically yesterday, but for you it is. Favorite movies of all time. I'll tell you a movie I just rewatched. I haven't watched this movie in about 7 years, and that's The Matrix. And I just rewatched The Matrix. Essentially, it feels like the first time I'm watching it here, because like I just can't remember it. And that is a goddamn incredible movie. Like, can I make myself taller? Like, you talk about like what a like, they were so ahead of their time with artificial intelligence. I mean, think about, I'm just gonna make myself bigger. Why don't I just do that? Think about how ahead of their time they were with talking about how artificial intelligence would change the landscape of human existence. Like, if I look at the Matrix right now, there's this one scene in the Matrix where Neo wakes up. Actually, he's getting... what happens? He wakes up. Oh yeah, that's right. He wakes up. This is the scene. Perfect. This is the scene. He wakes up. Wake up after death. He wakes up in the real world. Okay. They wake him up. What's his name? Morpheus and the crew wakes him up, right? And he's this hairless, alien-looking creature, and he sees this. He sees we're all plugged in. We're all plugged in, and these machines are feeding off us. These machines that we created began feeding off us. And there's that infamous scene, red pill, blue pill. And I never really understood the roots of red pill, blue pill. You hear about it. Some guy said black pill last week to me. I'm like, I don't know. I've never heard of black pill. And I never really understood. It's like the blue pill is the forgetting. The red pill is the waking up, right? And I never really understood it until I rewatched this movie. I'm like, that's it. That's of course, right? And now I understood the roots of the philosophy of red pill versus blue pill. Okay, and everyone wants to call themselves red pill. They're all fucking woke, aren't they? We're all self-proclaimed woke. Okay, cool. But it's this scene where you just see all these pods of like, we're all... How do we know? How do we really know? And so I'm watching it. I'm like, how do we really know that this isn't a reality? And I don't think we do. And I don't. Does it matter? I think it matters, and it doesn't. Okay? Because if we can wake up from it, was the Matrix beginning of MGTOW, red pill, blue pill? You put a question mark on the end, but I think your question is correct. Yeah, but how do we really know? I mean, imagine that 8 billion all hooked up, right? Every time someone's born, it's a new pod, right? And it makes me think. I'm like, we don't, but I think it matters if we can wake up from it, like Morpheus and them did. I don't know what do they call themselves anything? Because it's in the future. It's like 2050, or like actually no, it's like 2100 plus. I think they don't know the exact date in the first movie of when it is, but it's a crazy scene and something that sticks with me. I'm like, movies are my drugs. Okay, some people asked me about alcohol and drugs last time. I don't drink, and I don't do drugs, even though alcohol's a drug. At this time, okay? That's current 2 cents on it, or my current experience with it. However, movies and TV shows, they're my drugs. That's what I'm realizing. I'm like, I escape this world to another reality through a movie, through a TV show, and I fucking love it. And it gives me so much pleasure and joy, and not even pleasure and joy. It gives me a philosophical brain joy, like a really cognitive joy. Like it's a weird thing to describe, but I think it's important that we all find ways in our life to escape from our reality, or to detach from our reality, to allow ourselves to breathe and to expose ourselves to new ideas, and to watch and silly things, to laugh and all that. Because I think Riley's second question is, what methods do you use to release stress in your life, and what have you found works/not works? And one way I think I do that is through watching movies and television shows. So whether it be something as perceivably silly as The Simpsons, which I am watching, I think it's going to take me like fucking 5 to 10 years to watch all 30 seasons, alright? At the rate I'm watching it, just because you just don't have time to like watch always, you're just busy doing shit. You're trying to be productive in the world. Or at least that's what I force myself to be. But I'll happily admit now, I used to think of it like a point of like shame. It's like, I'm not going to admit that I fucking watch these things. I'm not going to admit it's like a weakness. And sometimes I still feel these things like a little creep up on me. Like, it feels like you're admitting a weakness if you enjoy something. If you take pleasure from something, that's not pushing you towards your higher purpose and your personal legend. But I think it's all a part of it now. And I think that you need to create space you need to just create space. You need to create space from the work. You need to create space from the minutia and the challenge of life. And so if you got to earn it though. And so after a hard day, like you can sit back and you put your feet up and you be like, there's no guilt to it because I fucking earned it. Like I worked for it. You know, I did a series of tasks that set me towards outcomes that I want to create in my life. And so I think that's the best way to do it. You got to earn it. Don't fucking sit down and chill out and hang out if you haven't earned it. Earn it. Earn the right to do it. That's how I think about it. And so I train hard. I work hard. I read. I study. I research. I create things like this to give a service to the world and to satiate my own curiosities and satiate myself. But that's one way I relieve stress. Watch something ridiculous. The Simpsons is actually, I think, quite deep. Rewatching it as an adult now, like it has underlying so many adult themes in it. A lot of references to sex, especially early on. Homer and Marge fucking get it on all the time. These fuckers, I'm like, I think not a bad thing. Kids are exposed to that. Every kid's should understand what sex and cursing and all these behaviors are. But it's interesting because that I don't think a lot of parents realized unless you watch it. Which I understand why some parents ban their kids from watching The Simpsons, but why ban? You're just going to suppress something that they're just going to overexpose and overindulge in later in life if you suppress it. I think we see that so often. You see so much empirical evidence for that. It's not even, you don't need research for it. It's like so obvious in life. A breathing every morning. I will do an outdoor breathing. I expose myself to the sun. I breathe and I work out. And I drain my battery every day, and I think that's needed. So working out, breathing, like purposeful time for breathing and mindfulness, and enjoying the drama and silliness and escaping the world through the mediums of entertainment, television, and movies are three big ones that for me. But I don't feel like I need to relieve stress. I think those are things there that... So I never get to the point where I don't often get to the point where I have to relieve stress that often. It's not a daily thing. It's like this is just something I do to maintain my vitality, maintain my sharpness, to sharpen my sword. It's not like, I feel stressed, I need to relieve stress. That happens maybe, seldom. But it does occur because I'm a human being. But... it's not something where I feel stressed that I have to take an action. I'm not being reactive to my stress. I'm being proactive, right? I'm being proactive to buttressing the cup overfilling, the cup of stress overfilling. So that's what I find effective for me. And I think that's the best way to go about it. You want to be proactive instead of reactive. If you're reactive, you're behind the curve. If you're reactive, you're too late and you got to catch up. Don't catch up. Be proactive. Get ahead of it. And so those would be my answers, Riley. Nah, I'm not down to show you my penis, the one who asked. I'm not down for that. I get it though. Like, I get people's fantasies. Like, I respect that. In a weird way, I respect people's fantasies. I'm like, I get it. But go find yourself a nice gentleman. Go find yourself just date some guys, man. Just go find a nice guy. Start dating him. And just let your sexual provocacious nature be an outlet. You're not gonna find it on fucking YouTube, man. It's not gonna come here, man.
Sorry, you can do $100 super chats. That's not going to happen. You know, everyone has standards and boundaries that we must not that we must rarely, if ever, cross. You know, and this ain't Pornhub, man. So I would find ways to control that sexual urges you're feeling. You know, maybe you need to work out, meditate, and fucking breathe, motherfucker. You know, that's what I would say. Someone needs to do that. Fucking asking me to show my fucking penis. Fuck that. The first Matrix was a game changer. Oh yeah, I can't wait to watch the next ones. I think they're making a fourth one. One has to go. Blondes, gingers, and brunettes. Damn. Well, the gingers ones, because you said gingers. If you said red hair, then I think its connotation of ginger is negative. So I would say red hair. Red hair, brunette, or blonde. I'm not really like a hair guy. Like I appreciate all colors and flavors of the rainbow. Like a paddle pop, man. Like a paddle pop. Because there's some really beautiful, like red hair. I think goes quickly in people. Like people tend to tick off red hair, but you can find some beautiful like porcelain skinned very white women. Very like usually have red hair. Like you don't usually see like a black woman who has red hair. So you know what? We're going to keep them all. We're not picking. We're liking them all. They'll all get a tick. You have a question about history, the one who asked. What is your question? Lola J. Lola, are you a female or male? I don't know if... Just curiosity, because 50% of my audience is female. So out of curiosity, because Lola sounds like a female name... I see what you did there, the one who asked. That's like that's a Simpsons moment. He says, "Can you shout me out? My name is Gabe Itch." Right? I see what you did there, motherfucker. What you think? You fucking Bart Simpson calling Moe's Tavern? Fuck no, man. Does anybody have what does Bart has so many of them? Motherfucker. This ain't happening today. No one in the history of YouTube has got laid online. That's what I'm saying. Well, look. Rody Doty. It's probably not going to happen on this live stream, man. Not with me. I mean, stranger things has happened. I'm sure it's happened, right? I'm sure it has happened a few times. I'm sure people get crazy and desperate. But it's if it happens, it's not under good circumstances. It's not good. Like, it's like some dirty old white man and some desperate, you know, that's probably how you get killed. That's probably how you get raped and killed. That's a good recipe for that. So we're not doing that today. You know, it's one reason like I like doing this green screen shit. You don't know where I am. I'm in fucking space. All you know is my city. People get crazy. I'm glad that I'm far away from a lot of you motherfuckers, because some of you are crazy. But I think my channel and content is in a way where it doesn't really attract that. But like, look at a Rogan. Like, is it just a matter of time before he has like a home invasion or something? Or he has 8 million plus subscribers? Like, sure, there's some crazy motherfuckers. Because you just think about, out of like 30,000 people who follow me, like a couple of them are going to have mental illness, just statistically, right? Imagine fucking 8 million. Jesus Christ. Anyway. One has to go. Spider-Man, Superman, or Batman. Now, that recent Spider-Man movie with... the cartoon one with Miles Morales, that was incredible. That was beautiful. That was a beautifully animated movie. So shout out to Spider-Man. Superman... Look, we can get rid of Superman. We can get rid of Superman. What does he do? What does he do? Actually, he's pretty strong. He's pretty overpowered. But I have more of a connection to Batman and Spider-Man. So really, these are more like, how should I say? These are biased things. These are not an accurate. It's not an accurate comparison of. I like these one have to go things. They're quite entertaining. It's not accurate estimation. It's not accurate estimation of their individual characteristics. It's just a pretty personal, biased one. You're definitely a girl, Lola Jane. You just said, oh, shucks. All right, confirmed. All right,
What about rainbow colored hair? Yeah, whatever. Like there's things called suicide girls, which will have that. They'll have tattoos and all different types of colored hairs, and those are. I'm a fan of them too. One has to go running with the bull or bull riding. I've thought about that. I've thought about running with the bull, strapping a GoPro to me, but Jesus Christ, like, you don't want to fuck with that. You don't want to fuck with that. You don't want to fuck with any of them. People can die, Lola. But that's the point of this, isn't it? The point is to expose yourself. Let's just running with... I mean, I trust my speed, okay? I trust my agility, change of direction abilities, and speed, right? So if you... But the thing is, running on the... Being on the bull, you only... You're in a... You can just jump over that gate, right? You can just get the fuck out of there immediately as soon as you get kicked off. And they have the guys waving the red, right? So you got that as a backup. But... And then when you compare it to this madness, look at this madness. These guys are fucking out of their minds. Come on. Look at how many there are. Someone's gonna get fucked up. How many people die every time this happens? Look at this. They're just going. These bulls look like they're just running. They're not even necessarily trying to... I wonder how many are trying actively to knock somebody out. Oh, he's coming for you. Oh, this guy... This is crazy. You see, I like my odds that I can stay away from the bull by just being on the side, jumping over these little things, jumping into a crowd. But if you make one wrong decision, wrong place, wrong time, and this bull just decides to fuck you up and flick you over itself. Oh, see this? Look at these guys. These guys are trampled. People can get fucking trampled. And then they go in the stadium. I didn't know they did this in the stadium. This still happens. Someone call Peter. Peter still... If this still happens, Peter ain't really doing much. They're not very too effective. Look at that comment. Here in America, we have something that looks like this is called Black Friday. You guys are fucking crazy. Let's compare Black Friday, Stampede. Oh, Jesus. Who are people that make compilations? That's how crazy you motherfuckers are.
Shoppers pushed and... their way through Black Store.
Look at this. They are lining up to sprint and run. Oh, we gotta mute that. Look at this. They are okay, there's so much chaos you can barely see. And these people will line up at midnight, right?
That's what I'm talking about. You know, we can discuss this call.
Just chaos. Look at that. Someone's gonna get trampled. What are you doing? This is we are addicted to consumerism. We are addicted to consumption. We can never have enough, right? We always want more. And these shopping centers and these retail stores will perpetrate because they know they're gonna make money. And then again, they don't give a... Oh man, these people are fighting.
World Store! World Store!
I bet a lot of these people just come here just to fuck around and fight and just throw shit like this. I bet a lot of people just come... Let me adjust that. I bet a lot of people...
Bang, bang!
Just come here just to fuck shit up.
Come on!
Jesus Christ. You're addicted. Addicted to consumerism, man. And if you haven't read Dear Alexander, number 30. It's on my website. Alright, let me keep reading. Alright, where are we? So there's the answer to running with the bulls. I don't even know. If I'm on the bull, I have to like hold the fuck on for dear life, and I can get thrown and get concussed. So you know what? Bull riding's got to go. I'm gonna run with the bulls. There you go. Jaden's back. Man, it's a weird time, man. It's a weird time. Of course, it's all dictated predominantly by people's comments. So the weirdness, it gets weird, man. But it is what it is. You know, we're talking chimps, man. What do you think? Talking chimps aren't weird? Psh, they're the weirdest. Rody asks, your bottle is mega dripping hard with that. Oh, thank you, man. That's right, and it looks even more different because it's floating through space, right? So this bottle in reality, wow, that's so weird. It looks like that. Look at this shit. Oh shit, son. Yeah, this is like a restaurant bottle. I think one of the best ways to improve your intake of. What does social distancing say to Black Friday? Hold my beer, no shit. When is Black Friday's not for a while though. Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, I think one of the best ways to improve your water intake, which a lot of people struggle with, is to just have don't have things you need to fill up constantly. This is like, I don't know, 1.5 liters. And I just sip as I go. Drip, 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 motherfucker. What does he do? Nagoy Joe, I don't know what you're saying. I didn't see the Spider-Man. I'm so bummed that Batman filming is delayed. I think Robert Pattinson will... What? They put Robert Pattinson as Spider-Man? How dare you put a fucking vampire as... Oh, there's a teaser trailer. Let's watch it. I can't fucking watch it. I'll get pulled. I'll get copyrighted. These fucks. God damn it. Why are they remaking it? I don't know. They're always going to remake shit, don't they? It's like, what's the point of even asking that question? You know what? Maybe he'll do a great job at it. You know? There you go. First comment. This video has made me reconsider Robert Pattinson's Batman. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. A lot of movies are going to be delayed. A lot of TV shows are going to be delayed. And you know what? I think it's positive. Because we have enough, don't we? We have enough fucking TV shows and movies at this point. We have enough. Just, if we could stop all production and release for the next 2 years, we will still have more than enough. Okay? So we can just all just chill the fuck out. I'll watch that later. If there was a way for me to watch this without getting pulled, I would do it. Jaden, why do you think, or do you think steroids in sport has worse connotation than someone doing cocaine or just drugs in general? I think steroids has a worse connotation because it has performance-enhancing effects. And when you have performance-enhancing effects, you are suggesting that an athlete, an individual, gets an unfair advantage over their competition. And so it's no longer a level playing field. And so when you no longer have a level playing field, people feel like they're getting cheated unfairly. Whereas if someone does cocaine, marijuana, which I think is just a matter of time before they all get legalized, which will again change that, doing those drugs is very personal. It doesn't have direct implications. I mean, it may have some indirect implications to performance depending on the come downs and the effects of the drugs, but its intent is different. Its intent is not for performance enhancing, and its effect is different in that it's useful performance enhancing. Like it doesn't. I don't know. I don't believe those drugs do have performance enhancing implications, or they're not meant for it anyway. Okay. And so one is looked at as a recreation, and one is looked at as performance enhancing. I think those are very distinct in their characteristics and classification of how we judge them. However, this is changing, isn't it? You know, in Queensland, my country, one of the states in our country, in Queensland, has legalized the growing of a number, like you can start growing your own hemp marijuana plants in your home. There's a limitation of how many you can grow, but you can start growing them. And I think this is great because for a number of reasons, I'm not going to get into some of the reasons why marijuana, I think there's a lot of people out there doing really good arguments for that stuff, like Joe Rogan. I think at this point, it doesn't even need to be argued to me. I think we can all come to the conclusion. I mean, maybe you guys have some rebuttals of like why marijuana should be legalized, but I think there are a lot more pros than cons, generally speaking. Do you know Nick Gurr? No, I don't. He's a fantastic actor. His reputation is always looked down from someone because, yeah, you know what? That's a great point. I'm unfairly. I've never seen Twilight, but you would get unfairly criticized and judged just because of what one series of movies that you've done that have been particularly attractive to a particular demographic that happens to be a lot of young women and teenage girls. So I can see the jokes. I can see where that comes from. But you can recreate yourself, right? What is that? One of the laws, the 48 laws of power. Recreate yourself. I believe you can do it. So, I'll probably watch it. Why not? Batman's he's a killer superhero. Is he a superhero? Oh, all those Marvel movies being delayed. You know what they should do? They really should release them because I don't think I'm not going out to a cinema. Even if they open up cinemas, you know how long it's going to take people to trust society around them? To trust the people around them? I don't think people are going to be going to cinemas even after it opens up. I think those Marvel movies should be released in a unique way where maybe you can do drive-thrus. I don't know, like commercial drive-thrus. Maybe the drive-thrus will come back, like drive-thru movies. But I think they should release those so people can watch. People can buy them. Some way for people to buy them and stream them. They can get all the income and direct income through them instead of splitting it with movie theaters. So Marvel, there you go. Maybe you should do that. Jaden's second part of the question is, if everyone is doing it, i.e. bodybuilding, is it cheating? I think if everybody's taking steroids, saying bodybuilding, I think cheating is defined by the organization's rules. So if you're breaking a rule, you are technically defined as cheating. But if everyone is breaking the rule, then does that not mean that everyone is technically cheating? Well, by the rule standard, it is. However, everybody is now on a somewhat level playing field depending on the drug and the dosage. So I think you have to look at it from that perspective. The level playing field has been standardized somewhat. However, cheating is still present, and that means that bodybuilding competition cannot be compared and standardized to other non or clean bodybuilding competitions, if you will. But fucking look at Icarus. Look at the Olympics. If you haven't seen Icarus is a really great documentary on Netflix about the Russian doping scandal and how almost every motherfucker was doing drugs, some type of performance-enhancing drugs, peptides, erythropoietin, steroids, to enhance their body's capabilities, okay? And they were like doing pretty crazy things like, can I take this off? This thing is useless to me. This little headrest, I don't fucking use it. I gotta take, and it looks shit too on this screen. Anyway, it's an asteroid. Oh shit. Yeah, Icarus. Watch Icarus. Check that out, and your ideas on your mind will get opened up to performance enhancing, in a lot of ways. He's easily one of the best actors right now. Watch Lighthouse. Let me look up Lighthouse. Do you think Robert Pattinson's one of the best actors? Oh, the best movies things. I talked about The Matrix. Another favorite movie is Seven with Brad Pitt. Another one is Fight Club. Another one is I Am Legend with Will Smith. Bad Boys is a classic. Bad Boys 2 especially. Yeah, those are off the top. There's a handful off the top. Oh, Lighthouse. Is that all black and white? An internet. The film was shot in black and white. Interesting. I'm trying to read the synopsis. The lighthouse keepers try to maintain their sanity whilst living on a remote, mysterious new island. Interesting. Okay, I'll check the trailer out. One has to go grape juice or grape drink. I don't know the difference, and I don't drink either. Although I do take grapeseed fruit extract for gut health and for mitigating certain overgrowth of pathogenic dysbiotic bacteria. So there you go. Adderall is, Zach Mason, Adderall is the academic version of steroids, yet they don't have the same negative connotation in America. I know, right? That's a great point, because Adderall, like for cognitive enhancement, I'm not talking about physical, you're talking about physical enhancement. And now for cognitive enhancement, Adderall and its effects on attention and... Let me look it up. Because I don't think we call Adderall here in Australia. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. So, Adderall. It's used to treat ADHD. Amphetamine, amphetamine belongs to a class of drugs known as stimulant. Helps ward off sleep. Yeah, you're just giving yourself a little bit of a stimulant. However, I think you can do that naturally. I think there's nootropics. If you haven't heard of nootropics are natural compounds that you can use for cognitive enhancement. They're smart drugs, cognitive enhancements that don't have a lot of the deleterious side effects of things like Adderall. Okay. I think Adderall doesn't have the same negative connotations because there's no ramifications to doing it in a workplace, right? What are the ramifications to taking Adderall in your workplace and just staying up later, being more stimulated and hyped up? Like, I don't think there are many. You just get more shit done, you're more wired, you're frying your endocrine system and adrenals, but fuck, all you care about is making money, hitting bottom lines, and achieving tasks. So, what do you care? And so, that people use tools to help themselves, even though the long term may have serious side effects. Lola J loves Joe Rogan. Well, I love Joe Rogan too, and he is an inspiration to a lot of us. I think he has partly affected the creation of hundreds of thousands of podcasts. In fact, just between you and me, guys, well, not between you and me, between the fucking world. I watched this. I'll show you. I watched this video of how I came up with Talking Chimps. Was watching a Joe Rogan. I won't even show it now. I'll show it another time. Watching a Joe Rogan remix clip of Joe Rogan enacting what it is to be a chimp, a chimpanzee or gorilla. And I'm like, I think that's what sparked me to do the Talking Chimps, because we are just fucking chimps. He talks about chimps a lot, and it's like he talks about gorillas and chimps and apes, and we're just apes. I'm like, yeah, we are just apes, aren't we? We are just a bunch of talking chimps flying on a hurling marble through space. To be honest, the reason why a lot of people take steroids is the limitations of natty physique versus natural physique versus unnatural physique. Yeah, well, it depends how hard you want to go, right? So everybody has kind of this physiological cap and baseline to which they can achieve their maximal body composition, strength, power, speed, these certain physiological adaptations naturally, right? We all have this point of diminishing returns where you've reached your genetic ceiling, okay? And that's when steroids come in. But most people have not reached their genetic ceiling, and they take steroids and these performance-enhancing drugs way too early because they're impatient as fuck, and they're not willing to put the work in. More work. Not to say you need to put fucking work in regardless of whether you take drugs or not, right? Drugs don't work by themselves. You need to actually stimulate and apply stress to the body and then fuel accordingly. But, yeah, thanks. I don't know if you guys see that. Thanks for that, guys. There are limitations, but most people have not reached their genetic ceiling, and I think if you just push your natural capabilities, just do it. Try it. See what happens. You'll be surprised that with enough discipline, like I thought I was always a hard gainer, right? I just wasn't fucking eating enough, man. I needed to eat 3,500 plus calories a day. Now I'm on 4,000 plus. And that's the reality. I always teetered around 3,000, 2,500. I'm like, oh, I can't gain weight. No, motherfucker, you ain't eating enough. And then you need to sleep better. And then you need to... I always trained hard and consistently for the last nearly 10 years. But, like, that's not going to come to fruition until you tick all those boxes. Want us to go Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Volume 1. Pulp Fiction is another great movie. It's been a long time since I've seen Kill Bill, like a really long time that I can't really remember it. So we're going to get rid of Kill Bill because Pulp Fiction is a great movie. What's that line by Samuel L. Jackson? What do you say? Pulp Fiction, Samuel... It's that damn motherfucker. Say what again? I dare you. I double. Here it is.
What? What country you from? What? Why ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yes.
That's it. It's a classic. Now, this is going to be an interesting test because if YouTube copyrights me for that 5 seconds of that famous clip, English motherfucker, do you speak it? Shit. I'll be surprised. I'll have to edit this clip. Drive-thrus are making a huge comeback in the States. I bet because McDonald's and all these franchises are still open. And so people can go get their fix for their processed junk food. But you know what? If you want to fuck around and get a cheeseburger once a month, a couple times a year, you go fucking do that, man. I think you can find ways to enjoy these things in moderation, in a healthy way. So much of our country was populated by drive-in movie date back in... Yeah, right? Movie dates. Yeah, that was a big thing, right? You'd take your woman or man on a movie date, and you'd end up fucking... Who knows what you'd end up doing, halfway through the movie, One has to go, mate's named Chuck, mate's named Chadwick. This is great. I wonder how long I could do this, because there is constant comments coming through. I can talk for fucking an hour and 45 minutes. Like, I wonder if we could do this all day. I'm not going to, but it'd be interesting. I bet it's possible. Mate's named Chuck, and mate's named Chadwick. Well, Chadwick is the name of that actor in Black Panther. So... Chadwick. I'm going to get rid of Chuck. Want us to go R2-D2 or C3PO? That's tough. I got to rewatch all those Star Wars. I haven't seen any of the recent ones. I want to. A lot of people shit on them. But you know what? I just enjoy them, man. I just enjoy sci-fi and fantasy. Just enjoy it. Just shut your mouth and enjoy it. Chadwick wears button-ups. Chuck wears motorcycle boots. Shit. Damn it, Chuck. Why are you going to be so cool with your motorcycle boots? Want us to go R2-D2 or C3PO? Well, C3PO has legs, but R2-D2 has wheels. Huh. I don't know. R2-D2. No, sorry, C3PO. Let him go. He's a bit of a... He could break too easily. And he's too big and shit. Like, he's just like he's a metal human. It's cumbersome. R2-D2 is he's more functional. Zach Mason. I'm pro Mary Jane, but 2 reasons against. It's more expensive. So Mary Jane is another word for marijuana. It's more expensive after legalization. My homie got faded. Went to the store, called the cops because he couldn't find his car. He doesn't even have a car. Okay. Yeah. It probably will be... Can you grow your own plants? Because if you can grow your own plants, you can make it cheaper. Like starting to grow my own vegetables, and year after year, that shit it becomes cheaper than buying it yourself. So it's more expensive after legalization. Yeah, because they're going to tax it. So it makes sense. But would you rather the ease and convenience of getting it? Like we're talking about, like, I can now get this shit delivered to me. Like the convenience and ease of getting it and understanding and the quality of it. Like, because you can then test the quality and you'll be able to get it from reputable pharmacists that you would think would have to test the quality. I think those benefits outweigh the extra cost. I think that's essentially part of the reason why you get the extra cost. Also, the government wants to make money. But I would take that. I would take that outcome, extra cost for convenience and quality assurance, or at least knowing. I never smoked marijuana, but if I did, or when I do, probably is more accurate. I'm only going to do it under the consideration that I understand what the compound is. I understand, hey, were there any pesticides, herbicides, fungicides used on growing these plants? You know, I want organic hemp is ideal. Just like organic vegetables is important to me. So, and the thing about, you know, you get so high and blaze that, you know, you do things, you imagine realities that aren't there. Well, I think that's the pro of it and the con of it. I think it's just the nature of the beast, right? You just got to be around. You got to do it around people. Have common sense. Do it around people you trust, and don't go crazy with it, and you know, get so high that you enter another universe like this thing. So yeah, he's very switched on, and I think he's developed that over a lifetime. But I don't even think he would call himself smart. I think he would call himself a dummy. And I think, you know, that's part of the humility. It's like, yeah, we are all dummies, aren't we? Like, but it's good to be silly a lot of the times too. Want us to go? Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or Richard Branson? Richard Branson. He got to go. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. I can see why people would get rid of them, especially Jeff, because he's got all these Amazon tentacles in fucking every single technological system in our lives. But after reading those Amazon letters, he can stay. He's earned my trust. In fact, I was going to get some Amazon stock. It got down to as low as $1,600 US. And now, as soon as it was called a pandemic, it went up down to $1,600. And I'm like, fuck, let me buy some stock. But because I'm from Australia, I have to open up an international trading account. And this takes multiple days to get that application process. So I did that. By the time I got around to doing that, it went up here, $2,400. By the time I opened up my account, it went up to about $1,900. And now it's at $2,400. So that's what we're dealing with. So next time there's a pandemic, kids, get stock when it's classified as a pandemic. I bought some other stocks, but you know, it ain't no Amazon stock. Let's just say that. Oh, you listed some great movies, Lola J. Great to have you. One has to go: Terminator 1, Aliens, or Predator. I was just thinking about Terminator yesterday. So you got two Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Aliens is a great movie. Aliens not going. Aliens is really good. Like, scary too. Like, proper movie. Like a proper, like, holy shit movie. Predator's crazy. I love the Predator character. Like that idea of, like, let's look up Predator. I think Terminator's, oh god. That's tough. But probably, it's close. Either Terminator or Predator. But look at this fucker. I know, right? If I would have jumped on that stock. Exactly. Even if I bought one share. That's what I'm just going to buy one share. I'm just going to see this, right? I can sell it. I can make, like... Because you guys don't understand. Like, Australia... Like, I would have paid a lot more in Australian dollars. So, 1,600 US. I'll show you. You guys don't realize. You guys in the US, you have one of the best currencies in the world. Imagine you lost nearly $600 for every $1,000 you exchanged. So it's essentially, call it 60% per dollar. Sorry. My bad, I went the wrong way. It is around 40% per dollar you're losing. So imagine that. That's what we're dealing with in Australia. It is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Just got to take advantage of the situation. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm alright. Just a guy. I'm just a chimp. Alright. Cheeseburgers, something... Burgers. Pulp Fiction had a complex plot. If you blinked, you missed things. Yeah. Yeah, I always look at Reddit after to pick up on those smaller details. Like Reddit and then the movie or a TV show. Always, if you want to know the deeper details to what you're watching, I'd really recommend that. It's something I do all the time. In fact, I need to do it for The Matrix just because fucking there's a lot of things you miss and pick up. It's like, well, you pick up all these things. And so, yeah, who knew? The old crumpled bill in your pocket is worth a lot more than you think. The euro and the pound are also very good. So, Europe and America, you guys have very good currencies to exchange with. Australia, not so much. New Zealand gets fucked even harder. They get fucked hard. Pause. Chadwick West. Oh yeah, that's right. CP3 is kind of a humanoid, but R2D2 looks less human and is more lovable and relatable. He's got his little beep beep beep. You know, CP3 preview. He's just a bit of he's stupid. For a machine, he's stupid. But you know what? I like how he's all gold, right? That's cool. That's fresh. Different states have different laws for everything from marijuana to guns. Oh, that's right, you guys. It's very state orientated, and it's quite odd. Well, it's not odd because it's here. It's similar, like with, and you can see it in this pandemic of like how every state runs differently. Like some places are opening up more restrictions and having less restrictions. So in our country, it's done at a federal level, but the states have control of how heavily they implement a lot of these restrictions as well. And so there's like this foundation, and then there's below it, there's like these, how the severity to which you implement these restrictions. So, what's up, Purple Yoda? Purple Yoda, that's a great name. Haven't seen you in here before. Love me some Purple Yoda. Yoda, you gotta keep him. That's a guy you gotta keep. Want us to go clowns or mimes? Mimes. See you later. You can literally close a state line and be celebrated for one thing and arrested for the other. I know, right? That's weird because we've created all these barriers in line. And you go up in space and the astronauts talk about how they come back with like a very like connected feeling to the world because you don't see borders from space. You don't see borders when you look at the Earth. When you're in a plane, you don't see borders. You just see land. And that's it. But we've created all these invisible lines and saying, you cross here, this is called this, you cross here, this is called that. I mean, what if we were just Earth? When Pangea existed, when just all countries were merged, it was just Pangea. Pangea 2.0. It's part of his humility. I think Joe is smart enough to acknowledge that there's so much more for him to know. Yeah, and I think also he recognizes his strengths as well. Like he recognizes when he's good at things and his strengths, and I think he recognizes his immense weaknesses in a lot of other things. Like he understands he has a narrow field of skill, a narrow field of expertise, and I think that we all must realize. Like, I'll tell you, I'm a generalist in the sense of my field of expertise is human body, right? And that encapsulates like human behavior, but most importantly, like physiology, anatomy, and the applications to performance, longevity, and health. That is my field, right? There's a lot of fields in that, right? Nutrition, exercise science, psychology, all of that is in there. And, you know, you have different domains of skill in each one, but that's me as a whole. But, you know, if we're talking about like the stock market or the economy, economics or politics or programming, things like that, like you can't come to me for that, you know. Even things like, yeah, you can't come from me. I'm not expert on investments, things like that. So it's like understanding your strengths and weaknesses and being able to when to speak from opinion and when to speak from experience is critically important. Hereditary is a great horror movie. I don't fuck with horror movies. I ain't doing that. Do not fuck with horror movies. Scuba diving or skydiving, one has to go. You've picked two two things that can both get fucked. One because I don't think so. I don't think so. The Pakistan-Indian border is actually visible from space. They have some next level beef. Is it really? Let's have a look. An orange line. Oh wow. I'm looking at because I'm going to put the audio of these all on my podcast. If you guys ever want to listen to this, you can't listen to it all live. I put all the audio, I probably should have said this earlier. I put all the audio on my podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, all podcast platforms you can listen to anytime, anywhere. Is that real light? Why is it all one line? That's really interesting. Really interesting. There you go. You can see from space. Scuba diving. Well, the problem about scuba diving is you can die, and the problem about skydiving is you can die. So they're both. One's like extreme extreme in the water, and one's extreme in the air from altitude. So I'd probably get rid of scuba diving for the fact that you can't breathe. You're relying on an oxygen tank. You can get nitrogen poisoning, which is the bends. So you have to be very careful. You can get cleaned up by predators. Is it nitrogen poisoning? I just want to double check. It's called decompression sickness. I studied this in environmental exercise physiology. We studied the physiological adaptations that happened. And I've seen your cover photo, Jeremy Borzillo. I know you're yeah, which we love. We love that random stuff. Yeah, man. What was it? I wonder what that was like for you. I never asked you about it. I'll ask you about it next time you come on Chimps. I'll probably be doing some Chimps at our gym soon. So there you go. I think I got the clear. Yes. You gotta flush nitrogen from the body. Hydrogen parachutes. Wait. Parachutes? What? We're just talking about. Okay. Anyway, I'm not gonna look into it too deep. Yeah. Lol, it's what I'm here to do. I'm here to answer random questions from people. Why mimes? Why not mimes? What do they do? What have they ever done for me? Alright. I think we're going to end there. 2 hours deep. 2 hours strong. Jeez. Okay. If you guys got any last questions, you let me know. You guys can re-watch this stream anytime. I did another one last week. This is Talking Chimps number 13. What is your content focus, please? Or what are the foci? Foci is a plural for focus for the others in the stream who aren't as brilliant as you are. Well, I didn't know that. So there you go. What do you mean by content focus? I understand that. Content focus? Just to create what I want. Things that are interesting to me. Simple as that. Don't know people try and create content around what's popular. Fuck that. That's not authentic or genuine to you. That doesn't interest me in the slightest. I don't know who my cunt is. We talked about movies before, Jeremy Borzillo. If you were in here before, you would have seen that, son. Now, I mentioned Seven with Brad Pitt. I mentioned The Matrix, which I just watched the other day, which is fucking amazing. I mentioned Bad Boys. I mentioned I Am Legend. I mentioned... What else did I mention, guys? Are you serious? Are you serious, Lola J? You found me through a random search of live chats. Holy shit. I didn't know people did that. So, You don't even know who the fuck I am or what I do. There you go. Well, I mean, you can check it out later. You can check it out later then. No, I don't play Smash Bros. I don't play video games anymore. I haven't played video games in a long time. What's in the box? Are you talking about that cartoon kid show? Oh, there you go. There you go. Man, I didn't know people looked at content like that. I think it's a great time, you know, just to enjoy different things, is to live stream. And I guess that's one way people just hop onto different things, right? Wait, I just typed in live stream and I'm on the first page. Huh. Look at that shit. Oh, but you know what? You know what? It's all good because every other live stream ahead of me is getting thousands of views. So you know what? I'll keep my measly small, minute viewership over here. Oh, that's what you meant. In the box, 7. Yes. Yes. Holy shit. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody. Go watch the movie 7 when you're done with this. Good lord. Oh, that was a tense movie, man. That was fucking tense. Jesus. I searched for the word chat with parameter live. Have been on lockdown. Where are you from, Lola? Where are you from? Are you serious? You found me the same way? That's a trip. Fuck my people who follow me ain't even watching me. Look at that shit. Is there a way I wonder if, is there a better, I'm going to keep it Talking Chimps, but I wonder, is there a better way I could title this in order to facilitate the people who are looking up live streams and live chats to engage them better? I wonder. Huh. What could I call it? Talking Chimps Live, that's what it's going to be, but it's going to be... Yeah, just ask me anything. I don't know. Like... No, I haven't seen a cow's balls, but I eat organ meats. Pennsylvania, PA. Alright. So, guys, if you want to see any of my other live streams, you can... And I've actually done actual proper episodes with other people who are really interesting. I would go check that out. Check those out. I've done it with some really interesting people. It's more formal discussions, but it's just conversations. It's less... It's probably not as chaotic as the... being at the behest of YouTube comments. But live chats. Live chat? You call it live chat? But yeah, go check those out. So what did I call this one? I called this Talking Chimps Live. Like say like Talking Chimps Live Chat. Is that really a big difference? Live chat. I don't know. Just add the word chat. Go live more often and I'll throw your live links around. Aren't you kind? Can't wait for this anonymous YouTuber to throw my links around. Oh, good. No, I appreciate it though. I appreciate it. But yeah, appreciate anybody sharing your stuff, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. If there's any other questions or comments, put them down. I'll give you guys 30 seconds. Yeah, check them out. They're a lot. They're different, but similar philosophically, and hopefully you guys enjoy them. Otherwise, this stream has been successful. This is the last question I'm going to answer. Any thoughts on marriage? Is it something you would do? Okay. Marriage is... Okay. I have thoughts on this. I have somewhat strong thoughts. Marriage is, to me, the celebration and union of two people who want to share life together. Okay? Which is great and amazing. However, I think it's important to celebrate marriage and to find a way to celebrate the union of people and to celebrate one's life, because it's a very unique time where you get to bring both sides of a family together. When else do you get to bring two sides of a complete family together to celebrate, right? To have fun, to enjoy each other's company and time. When does that happen? It almost never happens. Like, people all around the world come together. It's amazing. Great byproduct of a celebration of marriage. However, what I think one of the downsides is the legal ramifications. Why do I got to get the government involved for marriage? Why does the government got to get involved to me to celebrate my love and companionship with another person? Why? I think it's unnecessary. I think a lot of the legal ramifications I don't even fully understand. Like getting divorced, like the person who makes more money in America has to pay the other person's legal bills. What's that about? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard. The legality of it is unattractive to me. I don't think it's needed, but I understand its significance, and I think there needs to be something though. I think in a monogamous relationship there needs to be something to celebrate the union and to honor the union and conjunction of two people sharing life together. Okay, something to honor it. Okay, I don't think it should just be, hey, we should just be together and like that's that. I think we should have something to honor it and respect it. Okay, I think marriage is an ancient tradition, and ancient traditions have their flaws, but ancient traditions also have their strengths, and they have their reasons why they exist. And I think there are ways that we can adapt it today to make it more useful to us today. However, I think there should be something, regardless of if you get married in a church or married not with any religion. I think we should all find something to celebrate the union of our love and companionship with another person. And I'll leave it at that. Alright guys, I appreciate you tuning in and watching. Thank you, chimps. And check out, if you want to see what else is going on this channel, I'll check that out and see if you like it and if you resonate with it. Awesome. I'll do these periodically, minimum once a week. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys got any questions on future ones, stay tuned. Just you gotta hit that, you gotta subscribe and make sure you're notified. So yeah, that's that. Much love. Stay healthy, stay well, and